Hey, what's up, phone lovers? Welcome to the Mobile Roar podcast for the week of February 18th, 2015. I'm Joe Fidua.
I am Christopher Chavez.
I am Kevin Kraus.
So, Chris, you're like in a war zone right now almost.
Yeah, apparently. I wish we were facing. I haven't gone outside yet, but I live about a block away from the ExxonMobil refinery, oil refinery, and that always kind of like made me not nervous, but just like I wonder if stuff ever goes down there. And then, sure enough, today I'm just eating my oatmeal, just looking at videos on Reddit, and then all of a sudden, boom! This huge like explosion. And I thought it was an earthquake at first because like our entire like building walls like boom, and then like our glass and everything, the windows are all shaking. But turns out I went on Twitter and it was a big old explosion at the oil refinery. So it was a little bit scary. And there's ash falling from the sky, and then I guess the news is telling people not to go outside because you'll die or something. So
Dang, man.
yeah,
It's like
pretty
it's
nice.
like you're living next to a volcano or something. Ash coming down and
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I drive by it all the time because when you get off the freeway, you have to drive past the oil refinery. So you see they have these like stacks, these like smokestack things, and all these flames coming out of it, 24/7. And I'm like, that's interesting. Wonder if anything ever explodes there. But yeah, so it was crazy. It's been a fun morning. They shut off the water in the building, so I think it might have just come back on now. But
apparently it's all over the news too. I haven't checked it out, but that's what
yeah,
people are saying. It's
pretty
crazy.
exciting stuff. So you can see where I live. It's actually right exactly where I live. It's interesting.
Stick your head out the window and wave, Chris.
Ah! I can actually go on top of our building here and like jump around and stuff
That's
because
crazy,
I
though.
am the manager, you know.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Kind of scary. All right, so not a lot of news this week, but the headliner, of course, once again, getting kind of sick of talking about it. Samsung Galaxy S6. Samsung's actually starting to officially tease it themselves more and more. So this week they showed some teasers for the camera, I believe, and then they said something about wireless charging. Is that true, Chris?
Yeah, they started teasing it, and I guess they're using the hashtag the next Galaxy. Surprise, surprise, but they haven't really confirmed the S6 name or anything like that. But the first teaser, they posted a little teaser video on Twitter, and it just had like I guess it was like a camera traveling through some dark, dimly lit hallway, and then all of a sudden you can see the light at like the end of the tunnel, and then it just says something like about staying in focus or some weird tagline, and then maybe like an hour later they uploaded an image, and it says something about the phone's low light capabilities, see clearly even in the dark or something weird like that. So. Um, Probably definitely talking about the camera's low light performance, and it'll be interesting to see how well it does. Because the Galaxy S5, I mean, it had a good camera, had a great camera, um, but as soon as you lost a little bit of light, the images turned to absolute crap, and that was like one of my complaints with that phone originally. Um, and then I guess they teased something about wireless charging, right? So on Twitter as
Yeah.
well.
They said, gosh, I'm trying to remember exactly what they said, but some people were speculating that maybe it would have Qi and what is
Yeah,
that other standard?
power
Wireless?
matters, power
Yeah, some people are
PMA.
speculating that it might support both,
Yeah,
which would,
that'll be interesting.
yeah, kind of insane if that
I don't.
happened.
I mean, it would be nice to do both. Honestly, I don't know what the technicals are, like
I
keeping
was
these
always kind of
manufacturers
under
from
the
doing both.
impression. I was under the impression that yeah, that most of these are already sort of backwards compatible, like not perfectly compatible, but you can use like most wireless charging systems with chargers that aren't. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong about
No,
that, but
it's
It's always key or always power matters. And
yeah, it's because I remember back in the day, I'm just trying to remember what Windows phone it was, but Nokia announced it and it had Qi wireless charging, and then AT&T actually, because they are in the alliance with the Power Matters or whatever it's called. So when it came out for AT&T, they actually switched it to the Power PMA or whatever they're called, which was like a really crappy move to do because I think most phones, the majority have Qi wireless charging.
The Qi is the pretty standard one. I remember, and I know this because just kind of looking into different accessories. I know Samsung, at least for the Galaxy S5, I think for the Note 4 they just sell it like a Qi adapter, but for the S5 they sold two different backplates that you could put on that supported the two different standards. But
honestly, that's the best way to go, I think.
Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't support. I mean, it's from the beginning, like when they first started announcing this stuff, it was like all these OEMs were kind of siding with either Power Matters or Qi, and it was like it was weird. I think it was Apple that sided with Power Matters, so everyone's like, "Oh, Power Matters is gonna win," and it was really stupid. But I guess Samsung in their little blog post, whatever that they talked about the wireless charging thing, they said that I guess they're a part of all three of the different standards or organizations. So I guess there's Qi, Power Matters, and someone else. I don't know which one the other one is.
There's Power Mat, but is that Power Matters product?
Yeah, I believe Power Matters is a Power Alliance thing.
That might have actually been its own proprietary thing because you needed like an adapter to use that.
Yeah, well, I mean, none of the phones supported it back then, so it was kind of ahead of its time. But yeah, you always needed some stupid adapter or case for those. But yeah, the Power Mat was an interesting one.
It's just one of those things where it's just stupid where everyone is using their own standard. Yeah. It's like we have to just pick one, like the micro USB cables for charging. Just pick one.
All right, I'm looking at it. It turns out it looks like Power Mat was its own thing, but it's part of the Power Matters Alliance.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. But I think Power Mat existed before Power Matters Alliance.
Yeah, it did. And then that's when I remember shortly after that's when the Power Matters thing started coming about. But yeah, so that's weird. But yeah, so I guess they were talking about how they're a part of all the three organizations and that they actually have chips that support multiple charging standards. So, I mean, I doubt Samsung would just make a blog post talking about this stuff if they're not planning on including this on the Galaxy S6. So I would be willing to bet it does come bundled inside, but hopefully not with like a backplate or anything dumb like that.
I think it kind of lends credence to the non-removable battery rumors that we seem to always hear every time Samsung comes out with a new phone. They're like, oh, it's finally not going to have a removable battery.
Remember ceramic? I think last year they were supposed to use ceramic, which I don't even know why.
But I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, I haven't used many devices that come with wireless charging built in, and I know that there are a lot of removable battery devices that can use wireless charging, but I feel like a lot of devices that come standard with wireless charging tend to have non-removable batteries in them.
Yeah.
The last few devices I've owned that use wireless charging, you can't remove the battery.
That's actually a good point. A good point indeed.
Do you use wireless charging, Chris?
When I had it on the Nexus 4. Nexus 5, and Nexus 4. It was really cool.
Yeah.
And I liked when I guess Google released that Nexus one that was like super magnetic. Like it was so strong. So you could technically stick it anywhere you wanted. It had a sticky little back to it, so you can stick the little square like in your car or something and use it as a car dock, which was really really cool. That one was awesome. And I actually I'm actually really sad that none of the phones I own now have wireless charging because it was pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty darn awesome. And like I started getting paranoid. I do this thing where I start worrying about something and it starts to happen. So I started getting paranoid and weird about my USB ports like breaking or like my cables like I'm pulling them out wrong somehow and over time they're going to like get all messed up and it started happening like on all these different phones where you got to hold it just like a specific way for it to charge and I'm like if this had wireless charging we could be past this. We should be past this by now.
It hasn't been a feature that I've like specifically looked for, but I think the last 3 phones that I've owned have had wireless charging, so I've been using it for a while, and it is pretty convenient.
It's super convenient. I don't know if it's a make or break when it comes to like deciding a phone, but if a phone has it, I love it, and it makes you love it that much more. So
the one problem with it on the Nexus 6, the phone is so dang big, you have to put it in like the exact perfect spot. At least with the wireless charger that I have. I have the Nokia one that's pretty popular, and you have to put it in like a really specific spot for it to work.
That's how it was on the Nexus 5 that I had. Even with the magnetic one, so you'd stick it, and it's like it'd stick on there so hard, but from there you have to fine tune it and adjust it just right, and then makes a little noise, and you're like, yeah, I got it. So I don't know. They're talking about technology. They're gonna come out with technology where it doesn't have to be so. I guess it's less accurate or whatever, but you can move it around like wherever you want, and it'll charge it, that'll be great.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited about. I mean, I'm not too big on wireless charging right now, just because it does have limitations. It's not as widespread, but once they get a pretty good standard for it, and I mean, we've already kind of seen examples of this. I think at trade shows and other companies have been like wireless charging compatible furniture and things like that. I mean, when it gets to the point where I can just toss my phone on my nightstand and it starts charging, that's going to be pretty cool. But
or just anywhere out and about. Go to McDonald's and place your phone on a table and it just starts charging it. Like
Yeah, that's what I think needs to start happening more often. There's always these stories about like Starbucks is starting to do it, but
I've never
seen it.
Yeah, and theirs is Power Matters, and the iPhone doesn't even support it. So it's like there's like maybe one phone out there that's Power Matters Alliance that'll use this Starbucks stupid wireless charging.
It just seems like a very dangerous idea to have every surface electrified.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I mean, because they have some where they can do cars from like feet away, and I mean, how far do we take this? I mean, like 50 years from now, do you just walk into a room and like all your devices are charging? And grow a big old tumor on the side of your head or something. I don't know.
Well, I've seen people like demonstrate charging devices when they're not touching. You know, it's very, very, very limited right now, but absolutely you could see a future where that's possible.
That'd be great. That'd be so awesome. One day.
All right, so switching gears. How about that phone, guys? Apple Car.
Kind of. I guess that kind of works.
I don't think Apple Car has gears. Is it electric?
How would you know? It doesn't even exist.
Yeah, well, electric cars don't really have gears.
Yeah. If it's electric, which I'm assuming it is.
All right, Kevin, you're the Apple fanboy on this podcast, right?
Yeah, you're right about that. So the Apple Car, it's like we've been hearing a lot of rumors about this lately, and they kind of trickled out with we saw some images of a car, and the first thing people were saying is, oh, this looks like a Google Street View competitor because there's a minivan driving around with a camera apparatus on top. So, and in fact, these might just not even be related, but we've seen these pictures of this minivan-looking vehicle with cameras. People said maybe it's an Apple Maps Street View competitor. Then we started to hear a little bit more, and people are saying maybe this is an autonomous self-driving car. Maybe those cameras are used in much the same way as Google's self-driving car has a camera. But kind of pulling back from these initial rumors, more information has sort of been leaking out, and Apple is indeed looking into building a car, actively working on it right now. I mean, if you believe some of these images, they already have prototypes out on the road. They've been really building up a team that could potentially grow to be thousands of people working on this next big product category. Supposedly an electric car, which has a lot to do with Apple, is apparently in a hiring war with Tesla. We've heard rumors before that Apple wants to acquire Tesla. Some people are saying Apple will ultimately acquire Tesla sometime this year, which could go a long way to this. But they really are apparently taking this very seriously. An Apple car. So an Apple car right now, it could be anything, but the rumors sort of point to probably an electric car, probably some sort of autonomous self-driving aspect to it. I mean, this is going to be much more than CarPlay or Android Auto. This is a whole car going to be manufactured by Apple at this point, and I guess that's why they'd want to acquire Tesla to have the facilities to manufacture this car. It'd be very strange. I don't know how I'd feel about an Apple-branded car rolling down the street. Would people jump on that? Would Apple just continue with the Tesla brand? Tesla has a pretty strong brand, and that's assuming they acquire Tesla. So there's just a lot of different ways this could go right now, but it seems like it's very much happening. Some people are saying that the leaks are intentional so that they can get investors can kind of find out what Apple's working on without Apple having to actually admit to working on it.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's a very, I mean, it's, again, the most we've seen
Apple car. Really?
The most we've seen Apple get into cars was CarPlay, and CarPlay is just a software interface thing. So it's a huge leap for them to jump to an actual vehicle. Go from just the in-dash entertainment to actually building a car that drives on the road. And I mean, I don't know. That's my question.
Using Apple Maps? Is it going to use Apple Maps?
I don't know. I've seen so many jokes about that already.
I mean, that's a joke, but it's like kind of a serious heart of the question. Is like, I like Apple products. I use Apple computers. I'm not going to deny that I use an Apple phone and I enjoy Apple products. But I don't know if I'm going to trust Apple to build on their first try a car that's worth driving. I mean, would you guys really feel comfortable in a brand that's never been known to make cars before and just expect them to make this car a thing? I don't know.
Yeah, on the one hand, it's really strange for Apple to get into, but on the other hand, it's kind of what Apple does is they come out with these devices that like no one expected them to do. Like, okay, they come out with a music player. They're a computer company and they come out with a music player, the iPod. So then they're in the music and stuff, and then all of a sudden they come out with a phone and no one expecting that. And so now, I mean, I guess having a car wouldn't be completely crazy, but then again, car is so much different than like, a
Yeah.
personal device
Yeah,
that you
well,
use.
here's the big difference is like, yes, before the iPod there were portable music players. Yes, before the iPhone there were smartphones, proto smartphones. But for the most part, whether you want to admit it or not, Apple kind of invented those product categories. Apple sort of invented the portable music player to be what it is that we know of it now. Apple made the smartphone what it is now. The cars existed for, over a century, um, and how is Apple going to reinvent the car to make it something that's compelling that you
I
say
mean,
have to
I
have?
will say though, there is a lot of room to reinvent cars. Like, yeah,
Oh
cars
yeah,
have been
for
around for a long
sure.
time, but
The
they've been
same
the same
technology,
for a long time.
exact same technology we've had forever. I mean, this is and the way cars are moving, just like to electric and everything, they're kind of moving from like this gasoline powered like automobile machinery to almost something completely different, where it's just they're fully electric. They don't have, I mean, cooling systems and all this other weird stuff you have to worry about. They're turning into these little electronic device, big electronic devices, really. They're kind of transitioning over to that. So I mean, it does make sense. Apple's got to do something. They can't be just doing phones and new laptops every so often. I mean, they have to think ahead and branch out and
Well, the one thing I'll say about this is that Johnny Ive has been on the record in the past saying he's not a fan of American car design, so we can look forward to some Johnny Ive design
No,
vehicles.
well, yeah, maybe American, but he also, I don't know, I think you did see his interview recently because I saw it in your wins and fails, but he hates Toyotas. Did you see
what?
that?
No. Why would he hate Toyotas?
Yeah,
He
he like
hates
said the
everything.
design of like the Camry and stuff was disgusting.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
Which I
sure
mean, it's hard to
he
disagree with
strikes me
him
as the
there,
kind
but
of person that's very into European car design.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
The
But
only thing I'll say about the Apple car is if Apple wants to get into that, that's fine. But I hope they don't buy Tesla. I love what Tesla's doing, and it
yes,
would be
yeah,
great if Apple would do something independently, and then there would maybe start being some competition in like really high-end electric cars, and not just
yeah,
gobble up someone and take over what they're doing.
Yeah,
for sure.
that's a good point. And I think if Apple acquires Tesla, I think Tesla will still operate as Tesla for a while. I mean, if there is an Apple like quote unquote Apple car that comes out, that's still years away at this point. I mean, all the rumors are pretty sure about that. I mean, that's not something they're going to come out at WWDC this year and be like, "Oh, and one more thing, we built a car."
Tim Cook literally drives on stage in a
Drives out,
car.
just.
How great would that be, though?
I
Oh
mean,
my
no
god.
matter what, you can probably bet it's going to look a lot more cooler and fancier than Google's little, what is it, that little toy,
Hey
um,
man, I like that thing. I think
Tykes.
it looks really cool.
Tiny Tykes has got a little smile
It's
on
so
it,
cute. Yeah, it's so cute.
little nose, little button nose.
Tesla is really the only company that has like done a electric car that's actually really cool looking, like muscle car-ish. Everyone else is kind of like, hey, this is an electric car, but it could also be a golf cart.
Exactly, it's a covered golf cart. It's ridiculous. But I
All
mean,
right,
you're not really buying them. They're driving you around and doing all this other stuff. I guess more
right,
about
right, right.
transportation. So.
So before we move on to our quicker news, we got a question from Elliot Bellardo. He says, "What's your opinion on Android TV?" I'll let you guys answer that because you played with a lot of Android TV stuff at CES.
My complaint is that it's not 4K ready, and that really bothers me. I mean, I guess they could do it in a simple update or like the next version, but that's the only problem I have about it right now. It needs to be
Yeah.
4K.
I think, I mean, if you want to know more about my specific opinion about Android TV, I would check out my Nexus Player review on Fandroid. Just Google that. But my general opinion is I think it's in many ways an improvement over Google TV because it's simplified. The apps are optimized. It works pretty well. And it's really good for getting your media, your content. It's actually pretty good for playing games as well. It's not a terrible gaming system. It is playing games optimized for mobile, so don't expect Xbox One and PS4 level graphics, but it's pretty good all around as an entertainment device. My issue with the current boxes available in the market is that they're input devices, and they don't. The one thing I really liked about Google TV is there was inline HDMI, so you never had to really switch ports, and you could kind of navigate your regular cable channels while you were using Google TV Nexus Player. For the most part, does away with that. But then there are, I mean, we saw at CES, there were a bunch of different Android TV options, and despite Google's attempts to really unify Android TV across devices and make it the same thing, which for the most part is working, we still saw manufacturers kind of implementing Android TV in their own way that added some non-stock elements that were kind of confusing. So I don't know if Google will ever be able to get away from that. That might always be something they're stuck with, but I think there's some potential there. I worry that this is going to be another thing that Google kind of just forgets about. They started, they did it, and then they didn't. It's not going to catch on. Manufacturers aren't going to get behind it. Yeah, it's going to fall to the wayside. What we did see at CES is that a lot of the big manufacturers, Samsung, LG, they're choosing to go with their own proprietary smart TV interfaces. Where I mean, Sony was using Android TV, and a few others. I think Sharp had Android TV as well, but so some are still using Android TV, but some of those big manufacturers that you really would like to support Android TV aren't getting behind it. So I'm not sure how it's going to succeed as a platform. I don't know if it will do better than Google TV did, but I had Google TV. I have Android TV now. I really like it. To be honest, the most I really use my Android TV for now, though, is just as a very expensive Chromecast. So that might tell you something about how much I use it.
I think like you said it best. The whole switching inputs and things. It's just too. And I wouldn't say too much of a hassle, but just too. I don't know. It's weird to.
It doesn't make it part of the TV experience. Yeah. It's a separate thing that you have to switch, like shift gears and go into your Android TV.
That's actually one of the reasons. I mean, I've been really loving the Sling TV. I know I've talked about it before because that is just an app on Roku, so it's so easy to switch between apps like YouTube, Netflix, and then if you want to watch TV, you just go into the Sling app. So I love that it's all in the same interface.
I'm guessing they have that. Is that app out for Android TV now? I'm guessing they have.
It was announced. I think it is.
I haven't checked. I have to check.
It's probably compatible, but I mean, as far as what Kevin was saying about the whole Sony thing and how they had their weird interface and it looked like a weird hack job. I actually talked to a friend of mine who shall remain unnamed, but he has a uncle or relative, whatever, that works for Sony's TV department, and they said that the Android TV thing is so like broken, it's not even funny. Like Sony, like they don't. He said they don't even know why they even tried to show it off at CES. That's why they didn't really let you play around with it because they were just like it was such a hack job basically, and that. It's so messed up that they're actually delaying the release of these TVs. So the 4K TVs that they were talking about and showing off at CES, they delayed them because they can't figure out how to get Android TV to work properly with them. So it's hilarious.
All right, so let's move on to some quick hits. We'll start things off with the LG G Watch Urbane.
Urbane?
It's Urbane.
It's like urban with an E on the end.
Urbane is a real word, right? It's not something they made up.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a watch that looks a lot like the LG G Watch R, except there's no like faux dial on it, and they're metallic instead of black. And I have to say, just removing the little dial thing and going metal makes this watch look a lot nicer.
Yeah, I did like that. So real quick, urbane is a adjective. It usually describes a man. It means suave, courteous, and refined.
Oh,
LG is so sexist. Gosh, what if describing a suave man? What if a woman wants this?
Well, I actually said that in my G Watch R review. I said this watch is like I could never see a woman wearing the G Watch R because it's so chunky and big and masculine to me.
Yeah.
In other words, it's a smartwatch.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that the 360 isn't that chunky, and it looks really
Yeah, and
slightly like elegantish.
I think you could pull off the Zen watch or even the
Yeah,
Sony the Sony Smartwatch 3 with the right watch band. I think would is
Yeah.
yeah, nice little thin watch band. Girls will go crazy for that sort of thing. But yeah, the LG G Watch Urbane. Oh yeah, so the do-it-yourself thing that was actually pretty cool. So
Oh yeah.
the LG G Watch Urbane, it's got just like an anodized aluminum finish or whatever to it, so it doesn't have like I guess the paint that they put on the original G Watch R. So someone got the bright idea like, hey, what if I took a little sandpaper to my G Watch R and just try to see what's underneath it. So he sanded off his entire G Watch R, and underneath there's just this nice aluminum finish. Polished it up and did some nice things to it, and it looks like nearly identical to the G Watch Urbane. So
is there any
um,
hardware difference though, or is it really just a finish?
it's literally just a finish. There's a little bit. The Urbane has slightly more, I guess, just rounded edges and stuff. It's a lot softer. It doesn't have as many like
Is it
chiseled
the
harsh.
same exact specs though, and like screen size and everything?
Yeah, from what I've seen, yeah, everything is exactly the same as the regular one. There's
And Matt,
really
what if they literally did what the guy did, and they had a bunch of these laying around that weren't painted yet, and they just sat on it for a while and
and
then
like,
waited
oh,
to
we'll
release
release
it.
these as a different version. Yeah, I mean, again, it's a little bit different. So like, it's very chiseled on the G Watch, which I guess you can, if you just had enough time on your hands, you can sand off those little edges and
It's a
make it
little
nice and
more
rounded.
refined and
I don't know if I do
It's a little
that.
more suave. It's a little more.
Yeah, it's a little bit more urbane.
It's a little bit more urbane, if you will. So
Uh,
it's funny. It actually looks pretty similar, aside from that ugly dial with the numbers on it and stuff. But
yeah, I just was never a fan of that.
I wonder if
I
you
know
can just peel
Kevin
it off.
liked it.
I did like it, and I like the G Watch R. Uh, but I think the Urbane might actually do it one better. I like the way it looks. I wish they would do the. Is the Urbane only going to come in that aluminum finish, or if they did that in a black, like a nice polished black finish? I'd
Well,
like
it's a
that.
silver and they had a gold finish, didn't they?
Yeah, they call it gold, but it looks more like bronze or
Yeah, it
something.
actually does, which I think is better, honestly, than
Yeah,
gold.
yeah.
Urbane. So
Something
we're gonna get
else.
back into like the time when all these companies had crazy weird names for the devices. Like
Oh
remember
God, man!
How are
Like
Android
they gonna?
phones back in the day?
the
Oh my
first
god.
couple years of the first like big Android boom, where every phone was like the HTC Dreamweaver 5.0 LG HTC 4G LTE.
Incredible and Evo and yeah, Desire, Devour. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we're gonna, we're gonna reach that with all the smartwatches. The Urbane.
All right. So HTC One M9, that name has seemingly been confirmed. No more HEMA.
Yeah, I mean, they found out. We didn't really know exactly what it was going to launch as a name. I mean, it could have been, just a model number or internally known as the M9. But I guess someone found some of the HTML code on the HTC site, and it actually just physically lists the HTC One M9 end quote. But and then there's also a couple like taglines and stuff that they're going to be using for, I guess, the promotional stuff when the phone launches. But yeah, so it's going to be HTC One M9, not the HTC One parentheses
So
M9.
does does anyone know what the M stands for or
No, they just made it up.
okay.
Honestly, yeah,
Because I
because they
know
didn't. They never had
go
an
ahead.
M1. They never had an M2 or
Right.
M3. I mean, it was just
And they
out of
had the
nowhere.
H1, but then after the M8 came out, now that one's called the M7.
Yeah, I think they
Yeah,
just like I think it just kind of it was like an internal model number, and they were
yeah,
like, and then
Hey,
once they
this
came
sounds
out
kind
with
of cool.
the
Let's use it.
yeah, they came out with the HTC One M8, and they were like, well, we still want to call it HTC One. How do we differentiate? It's like, oh, M8, and then they'll be like, oh, I guess the old one's the M7.
It
yeah.
does sound
So,
kind of cool for some reason. I don't know why it does, but maybe it's
well,
just
because
because we
people
hear all this S5 and S6 and
Yeah, I mean, if I had to
M9
guess,
S6
if I had to guess, there's I mean,
One
at least
Plus.
with a lot of products, there's like there's like the Mark One, Mark Two, Mark Three. So it could be like Mark
oh
7, Mark
yeah.
9, Mark 8, Mark 9. It could be that. So it would be like the eighth generation of HTC Android phones. I'd have to check if that's true.
Yeah, I was just thinking that maybe one of our listeners who's smarter than us can go, because I know what was it with the Nexus number? There was a big
Nexus
issue about
1.
how that was named.
Yeah.
Let's go back.
So,
Let's go
yeah.
back. Let's find a Nexus 1, and then I bet you can probably. That'd be an interesting post, honestly.
Yeah, is it the 9th HTC flagship device? That would be interesting.
I mean, 'cause they never really did. They ever really have? They didn't really technically have flagships before. They just kind of had like their phones. I mean,
Well, I would say their first.
if you looked hard
it
enough, I
would
bet you
be
could try.
tough
You could try to
because-
prove it. You can make an
Yeah, it'd be
argument.
tough because the G1 was made by HTC, but technically was not like an HTC really branded.
Flagship, yeah.
The first one I could really say is like definitely the first HTC flagship would be the Evo.
No, the Hero, which was before the.
Oh
Evo.
yeah. The Hero would be good because before
Hero.
that there was the Aris. That not really flagshipy. Hero, I think.
The Incredible, maybe. Incredible.
Yeah, that was a 1 gigahertz. That was like the
Yeah.
the alternate version of the Nexus 1 with Sense on it. So yeah, there's that one, the Incredible.
All right, that's
I
your
don't know.
assignment. That's your assignment, listeners. That's your assignment.
That'll be really, really tough.
All right, so BlackBerry suing Ryan Seacrest again.
I
Have
thought
you guys
they've
heard
been
about
doing that. Yeah, the whole his typo keyboard, physical keyboard thing, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure why they're suing him again, but so
Oh, because-
if you don't know what we're talking about, Ryan Seacrest, like, I don't know, I guess he's a backer or something with this keyboard case thingy that you slip on an iPhone, and it gives it a physical keyboard that looks identical to a BlackBerry keyboard, which is why he's being sued.
Right, typo, right? That's the thing called
Yeah,
typo?
the name of it is Typo.
We looked at that at CES.
Yeah. So he's being sued again. Not really sure why again, but it does look exactly like a BlackBerry keyboard.
Well, what else does BlackBerry have to do right now?
Yeah.
They're not designing phones. I mean,
That's a good point.
What else? does he have?
All right, we need money. Who can we sue? Who can we sue?
I mean, it's like a pride thing. I mean, it's exactly like the BlackBerry keyboard. I mean, you can't even say it's slightly different.
That's all they have left is that keyboard.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's all they have.
If people
that's their
start
brand.
making a keyboard, then what is
That's their entire brand. Yeah. Oh shoot.
I'm not going to say they're wrong because I'm sure the person that made that was like, man, I love that BlackBerry keyboard. I wish they had that for iPhone.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, and they have like I don't know what is it? A bunch
Doesn't
of. I mean, my uncle was holding on to his BlackBerry forever because of the keyboard.
Doesn't the Pocket even have like a trackball on the keyboard? Or am
I don't think it has a trackball.
I think there was 2 different models, right? 'Cause we took a look at it at CES. We like walked by there, and I guess they had a nice little booth. They had ads in every cab talking about it, and then they showed it off at their booth, and we played around with it a little bit.
But
it's
yeah,
interesting.
the BlackBerry keyboard, like the keys, the shape of the keys are really unique, and
Yeah.
you can't just like
They're iconic.
on your own think of that and be like, oh yeah, they should just look like this, and be like, oh, I didn't realize BlackBerry
Yeah,
keys.
definitely not. They have that weird curve. They're all tilted like a weird way, which I'm not really sure why they are designed like that. But I mean, this is copying it exactly. I'm sure BlackBerry has a bunch of design patents on that
Yeah,
sort
I'm
of
sure
stuff.
they do have the patents, but then again, it's like it's a QWERTY keyboard. You can only do so many things with it.
You can do a lot of other things than copy them. That's I think the main thing. But yeah, so they're getting sued again.
So in non-sad news, Pushbullet continues to be friggin' amazing. So they released an update this week, and now you can reply to SMS and messages in Chrome and Windows, I believe, when you get like messages from WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger. What were the other ones, Chris?
Line. Some of these like more obscure ones that we don't really use here. But I mean, I guess they're probably popular in like other regions and countries and stuff. But
Very popular, yeah.
yeah, I guess the main ones is Hangouts. In order to get Hangouts to work though, you'd have to install the Android Wear application on your phone. Then I guess it mirrors the notifications from there, and it kind of fools the OS into thinking that it's an Android Wear device, and that's how you can reply to Hangouts. But of course, you can just use the extension for that as well. But WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, the big ones, and they said that they're taking requests for more other applications as well.
Oh,
but,
Telegram, that's the other one.
yeah, Telegram. I use Kik a lot, just because that's where, like, I don't know, I have a bunch of friends on Kick, and that one's not supported, which is a little frustrating. But I don't think they can add that one because I don't know how it works with Push Bullet, but Kick, the notification itself doesn't have like a quick reply. So I'm guessing that's kind of how they did it with Hangouts. I don't know, but it's awesome. And
Yeah.
Push Bullet
Push Bullet is really amazing.
It's so awesome.
All right. So our last little bit of news is a little somber. Facebook now has a way that you can let people control your account when you're dead, basically. And
Yeah.
legacy contact, I guess they call
That's
it.
the official setting, yeah.
Yeah. You choose someone from your Facebook friends list, I assume, as your legacy contact, or is it done by like an email address or something?
No, they have to be a Facebook contact. So if they
Okay.
don't have a Facebook account or whatever, you can't set anybody, but they have to already
How
have a
does it
Facebook
work?
account.
How do they know you're dead to be able to confirm that this person can?
So Facebook, they have a, not like a program, but you can contact them and get your account if someone dies, and you have to verify it. You send them an obituary and all this stuff, and then Facebook looks into it and verifies that this person's dead, and then they memorialize your account, your Facebook account. And normally that would kind of just be the end of it. There would be pretty much nothing after that. But if you set someone as your legacy contact, this person, once your account has been memorialized, this person will have full access to your account, so they can go add friends, they can post status updates like, hey, I'm dead, and maybe funeral services, stuff like that, or like trying to raise money and things like that. Those websites that let you do that. So it's pretty cool. I think everyone should do it. I've already set my legacy contact. Probably not sure if I should have added my girlfriend. I might have to add one of my other friends because I don't want her going through some of my old messages and finding.
Dude, who cares? You'll be dead.
I mean, I don't. That's what people say, and like in a way,
What's she gonna do? Like get mad at you while you're dead? Who
I
cares?
think I would like someone. I would like people to think of me in high.
You want to be
high
remembered
regard. Yes.
positively. Yeah.
Like maybe a nice picture on the wall of me and a dog on like on a chair, throne or something. Just not. Oh man, Chris was super dick. Oh, that's what
Well,
happened.
hopefully people would understand that.
Yeah, but
People
I mean,
are young. People are stupid.
in case anyone's wondering, Google also offers something very similar, but theirs like one-ups Facebook. They've been doing it before. Facebook even announced theirs, but on Google, you can just set these contacts that can have access to your account once you die, but you can just give them a certain level of permission. So you can say, oh, they can, access my emails, but they can't go into my Google Plus account, or they can do this, and they can't go into my photos. I don't want them seeing all the photos that I have saved on my Google account. So you can set their level of permission, I guess, which is really nice. I wish Facebook had that option because that'd be great. But yeah.
All right, so let's get into our wins and fails of the week. Kevin, what's up?
All right, my win for this week. Thank you. I don't know if I actually mentioned this on the podcast last week or if I was just talking about it before the podcast, but I bit the bullet and I decided to start using a password manager. I chose 1Password because the video has that guy in it that's in all the videos. So,
Oh,
Is it really? Oh my god.
so
jeez.
I'm like, if they can afford to hire that
It's
guy,
working. He's working.
It's literally working.
I want to get a beer with that guy. Like I just wanna-
He's so money.
But so I got 1Password. It was a little hectic at first because I spent a few hours going through and changing and saving all the passwords for my most important accounts, and I'm still kind of going through every day. I log into a new thing and I'm like, oh, I should update the password and save it in 1Password. 1Password's kind of expensive up front. If you get it on iPhone and I think on Android as well, the mobile version is free, but it's not as useful without having the desktop version. Because otherwise, when you go on your desktop to log in, you have to look up the password on your phone and type it in. So I paid. I actually had an iTunes gift card, so I paid for the Mac version. In the Mac App Store, it was like $50 up front. There's some other options actually out there that are pretty cool too. I
Is
just
that a subscription or a one-time fee?
the 1Password's a one-time fee, but there are some others. And if you go on Fandroid today, I actually just posted a 8 reasons you need to get one of these right now, because I've actually really enjoyed the experience. I was hesitant at first because it seemed like a lot of work, but once you get it all set up, there's a Chrome plugin. It's just one click to fill in your passwords. It works really well. Some of the, like LastPass, I think is $12 a year, which is pretty good. But again, I chose 1Password. I'm really happy with moving to it, and I don't know if I feel more secure, but I feel like I no longer have a bunch of weak duplicate passwords all over the internet.
Yeah.
So I feel better about it. But I guess still, if someone hacks and gets your password, they have your password. But it's harder for them to crack your password if they're just trying to. But I don't really know if there's that many people out there that want to crack into my accounts. But maybe there are.
Until now, there weren't.
I know, that's like a challenge to all the. Oh God. But that's my win. I'm happy with it. I really like it. And 1Password is actually really nice because it also, you can fill in credit card information, shipping addresses, all this stuff, and use it for autofill in your browser, which is really nice.
Wow.
And it has a security audit tool, which tells you how weak or strong your current passwords are. It checks to see how long you've kept that password. So if your password's 6 months old, it'll start to be like, hey, maybe you should change it, because they recommend changing them frequently. So it's got a lot of nice tools in there. It works really well. And it syncs across devices. I can get it everywhere. So far, so good.
So how does I'm curious how it works on mobile.
On mobile, I mean, it's an app. Pretty much what you're going to have to do, since you don't remember them. I don't know. I think Android probably has a little more freedom in this area. I haven't tried the Android version. Android might have, I don't know if it has a more direct way to do this, but on the Apple iOS version, you pretty much, when you want to log in somewhere, you have to open 1Password, copy the password, go back to the other app and paste it, unless you memorize the password. But if you use one of their auto-generated strong passwords, which are like, you can make them up to 40 characters long or more,
Jeez.
and yeah, they're just, you know, way you'd remember them. But so now I have a bunch of passwords that I don't even know what they are.
That's one way to be secure, yeah.
They're so secure. I have no idea. So someone can torture you. No, I don't know
I
my
literally do
password.
not know what they are.
I definitely suggest reading Kevin's article, though, about why you should use a password manager. It brings up a lot of good reasons if you don't currently use one.
Which I don't. So yeah,
I think it's good. I think it's a good thing to invest in. So that's my win. For my fail of the week, I want to get back on Johnny Ive's case. Joe mentioned the interview that Johnny Ive did where he talked about a bunch of things. One of the things, he didn't name names, but you knew exactly what he was talking about.
Yeah.
He kind of issued an attack on moto makers, saying that it's lazy design to kind of let the customer have a say in like how it ultimately looks. He thinks you should have control over the design. He thinks a designer should have control down to the color and everything. He thinks it's kind of wrong to give the consumer the choice to choose their own colors. I don't know. I guess he's such a purist when it comes to design. Actually, Motorola's president fired back at this in another interview and said, I think it's very important to let the customer have a hand in the design of the device that's going to be theirs. I mean, so, right. I mean, I guess Johnny Ive would be disgusted if we all walked around with iPhones and we decided what color they were to be, but I mean, that's his personal opinion. You might have you think your Moto X looks good the way you designed it, then that's your opinion. So that's a good design.
Yeah, I am totally against Johnny Ive on this because here's the thing. Motorola is still doing a ton of the design. Like, they are controlling how the device looks. It's not like people are picking the shape and all that type of stuff. They are designing a really nice looking base phone, and then they're making it easy to customize in a way that still makes the phone look really nice. It's not just like the Wild West of choosing stuff here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a limited number of things you can choose, and it's your own fault if you choose an ugly-looking phone. I mean, what does anyone else care about that? It's you're the one that has to live with it.
Yeah.
So I agree.
Johnny.
I think Motorola. It's not like Motorola was like, oh, we don't want to spend any time on design. Let's let the customers do it. I think they are in a way doing the customers a favor.
In a way, it takes more design prowess to make something look good despite what people choose to customize it.
Yeah, giving them specific materials. I mean, the leather.
You have to try really hard to make the Moto X look ugly, with the options that they give you. They don't give you a million options. They give you a select few options.
Yeah, everything that kind of works well together.
Plus, I mean, Motorola's put thought into a lot of these interesting materials you can choose, like the leathers and the wood and all that stuff. So I totally, I'll get behind some of the Apple design choices. I think Apple has really good design, and maybe Johnny Ive has something to do with that. But I disagree with him here. I think that
Let's not forget the iPhone 5C came in like 5 different colors, so.
yeah, and also was a
And
complete
a
flop.
friggin' hideous case. What's up with that, Johnny Ive? Oh, boy. All right. My win of the week is NBA has like a weird holodeck thing. The holodeck is from Star Trek. If you're a Star Trek fan, I'm not really, but I know about the holodeck. It's like a room that you get into, and then it like transforms around you into a virtual reality where it seems like you're somewhere else. I'm sure everyone listening knows what I'm talking about. So during the All-Star weekend, NBA was doing a bunch of crazy stuff, and one of the things they had was this room, and the floor and all the walls were like covered in millions of LEDs, and they set it up so that they could change all of these, like the floor and the walls and the ceiling, to make it look like you were on the court during Michael Jordan's famous shot against the Utah Jazz.
What?
So like the floor transforms, it looks exactly like the court in that arena. I think it was in Utah, that game. And then like all around you, you have the fans that were at that actual game. It looks like you're like in center court. And then they play the actual audio like from during that final shot, and you can have a basketball and like try to recreate the shot yourself. It's crazy cool. Go watch the video. I think I saw it on The Verge. But it's just awesome. Like, it looks so good. All the LEDs they have, it's look like you're basically standing on giant flat screen TVs, and all of a sudden it just like changes around you. It's pretty friggin' cool.
I mean, I guess that's cool, but you could have just put on Gear VR.
Well, Kevin, did you see that the All-Star Game's going to be on Gear VR?
Oh no, I didn't. I should check that out.
Yeah, that'll be pretty cool when that comes out.
I gotta look at
Seriously.
thing. Or even the Microsoft, the HoloLens, is that Microsoft's thing?
Yeah, the HoloLens, yeah.
Man, that'd be so cool. I mean, I'm not into sports or any of that stuff, but that'd be so cool. What if they were broadcasting it through the 360 camera on like courtside, like you're freaking Jack Nicholson or something.
Yeah,
And you can look around and you can see like Jay-Z next to you, like, oh, hey, what's going on, man? Just look ahead and watch the game as if you're there. Like, that would just, oh my gosh.
Well,
That'd
that's the
be so
future,
nuts.
right? Everyone just wears
Wow.
Gear VR, and no one's in the actual stadium.
No one has to pay money for these tickets, yeah.
All right, my fail of the week. I got to pull this up. So Comcast came out with this new remote. It's supposed to be like a really nice design, I guess. At least that's what they think. But you know how Apple products on the back, they say designed by Apple in Cupertino?
Right. Yeah.
So Comcast, on the back of this remote that they think is so amazing, they wrote designed by Comcast in Philadelphia in the exact same font as Apple. And it's like this stupid remote. It's not even that great. They think it's awesome.
I think it's so awesome.
They do, because who cares where a remote was designed?
It's the same remote they've always had. It's just shaped differently.
Yeah, yeah. It's so lame. Designed by Comcast in Philadelphia. No one cares. You're Comcast.
Next thing they'll be talking about how they think it's messed up that people get to design their own cable packages.
Yeah, and they'll refer to you as like Mr. Ass Clown or whatever. What was that story a while ago?
They called him Asshole Brown. Yeah. Actually, I've actually, since I talked about it on the podcast, I mentioned that a few podcasts ago. There have been several other stories that have come out of similar situations happening to other customers with various curse words. So
That's pretty bad.
I'm gonna have to cancel my Comcast account when I move, and I'm not looking forward to dealing with it.
Yeah, really. Do you know what internet you're gonna switch to?
No, I'm not sure yet. I want to try to get to FiOS if I go to an area.
Get FiOS,
Yeah.
man. FiOS will change your life.
I'm actually gonna be moving pretty soon too, and Comcast is like far and away the best option in my area, and I'm kind of sucks. I can get AT&T at Uverse, but it's not as good, the speeds. They're putting in gigabit internet in my area, like slowly, and I'm so excited. I'm gonna get that when it comes out.
That'll be nice.
Yeah. All right, Chris, what do you got?
So my win for the week is going to be the Mattel and Google team up. I guess the last week they officially announced the V Master VR. So it's like a plastic version of Google Cardboard. So virtual reality, super cheap. It's $30. It's going to be released towards the end of this year, and it effectively gives everybody a virtual reality headset. Just using the regular smartphone that they have right now. So any Android device should be okay with it. And you can, I think right now initially they're gonna start off with just giving you places to view, so you can transport yourself like on the Golden Gate Bridge and look around and mess around with stuff like that. But I mean, of course, Google is kind of going gung ho with all this VR stuff, so you could probably expect games and stuff like that to follow shortly after that. But really, really cool. A really nice update to the Viewmaster, which I loved from back in the day. I'm still a little bit hazy on how these the little slides work. I guess you can buy the little.
Yeah, is it going to
the
be able to
reels.
use the traditional slides? Is it going to have a new slide system?
Well, they said they're going to be importing their library. I guess maybe the more popular ones of all the old reels that they had from back in the day. So hopefully Michael Jackson's Thriller comes back, because that would be great. But yeah, I don't understand. They have these updated reels, which I don't know if it's just VR, like you place them someplace and you can look at stuff that pops up out of them. I think that's kind of what they're talking about there. But so a little bit hazy on the way the reels work. But
Yeah, because this promo shot shows a reel, like a physical one, but
yeah,
I would think it would all just be software if it's on your phone, right?
yeah. Well, I mean, like it. I guess you look at the reel, you buy the reels, which come, I guess it's $15 for a pack of 4 of those reels, and those reels will have specific places that you can travel to. So you get the reel, you place it like on a table. It's able to pick out like what kind of reel you place down, and it'll transport you to that location or whatever. So kind of weird way to do it. You would think everything would just be all app based and stuff, but it's interesting. I mean, I guess Mattel's got to make money. And this is a perfect way for Google and Mattel to kind of team up and kickstart VR, especially for the kiddies. I mean, this is definitely not going to be just for kids. Pretty much adults are going to be buying this, because we're the only ones that really remember the Viewmaster. It was awesome.
Can you use it to just do traditional Google Cardboard type VR, or is it only going to be with the?
Yeah, I think they said you can pretty much download any game that's VR right now that should be able to work just fine with it. So you can use it with the reels, or you could just kind of just use it without it, and it's freaking amazing, super awesome. So really, really hyped. Not coming out again until the end of this year, so you still gotta kind of wait for a while.
Big for Christmas.
Yes, that's gonna be so amazing. My fail for the week is gonna be Chrome for freaking Android. I don't know what's been going on, but I mean, last week we talked about how I got the Droid Max and I had this amazing battery life. At some point, Google Chrome decided to start eating up 30% of my battery, so my battery life just became normal. I couldn't figure out why until I went into the settings and found out that Google Chrome was like the offender, and I jumped into this application called Usage Timelines, and it shows you how much CPU your apps are using, and Chrome is just up there at the top, just doing nothing, using all my battery, using all my CPU, maxing it out, and it's literally behaving exactly the way Chrome behaves on the desktop, which is absolute crap.
Yeah.
Super resource heavy, just sucking up all your RAM and your CPU, and it's just so annoying. Especially given that the mobile version of Chrome for Android doesn't have any extensions or any of that weird stuff. It's in the background. It should just be sitting back there. So I'm not sure if a new update fixed it, but I have completely just said F it. I'm done with Chrome completely for at least a good while. And then I moved over. I've been trying to play around with some of these other browsers, and I kind of landed on Opera at the moment. I think Opera is very, very nice. Firefox is a little bit weird with the tabs, and then there's some of these other ones like Javelin. Javelin browser is a little bit weird too, but Opera is very, very nice, very minimal and clean, so that's what I'm using for right now. And that would be my fail. Chrome, like always.
Cool. All right, let's get in our app picks. I'm really excited about things.
Oh man, so I don't know if this is like a thing or not, but we get so many emails from people. Check out our app. Check out our app. And for some reason, I got one today that said, "Do you like orc?" in the subject line. I was like, this
Which
is
is great.
well,
I
it was that yeah,
As a matter
that
of fact.
that combined with I saw the first like sentence of the email. He's like, "I spent the last 3 months in my dark bedroom building this app," and I was like, "This guy's crazy."
Dude, I
So
don't know.
I clicked it and I looked at it. It's this app called Orcs. It's for iOS. It's for Android. You can get it on the Amazon App Store. Um, from what I can tell, it's this German guy named David Zobrist, and he says, "Hi, I built this game Orcs alone in my dark room over the last month." He calls it a cookie clicker RTS RPG game for mobile devices, and it's just literally the only thing. So it's Orcs. The graphics are horrendous. Um,
don't think they are. I
I,
think the graphics are nice.
they
They're
look pretty
very
good. They're 8-bit,
endearing.
like yeah, they're interesting. It's got an interesting aesthetic. But all you do in this game is mash your finger against the screen. You just keep tapping and tapping, and you cut down this tree to get a new axe to cut down more trees, to get more orcs, to build a fortress, to get a wizard to go on quests with warriors. It's crazy. It's like the most insane thing I've ever played in my life.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know.
Kevin told me about this earlier today, and I think I've played it a lot more than he has. I put a good like 15 minutes into it, and the only thing you do pretty much is tap this tree, and the faster you tap it, the more wood you get, and the faster you can progress through the game. But it is crazy. Like, I don't think maybe I
Cookie-
skipped something when I started playing it, but was there a tutorial at the
No,
beginning?
there was no tutorial. So
Yeah, so it just starts and
You have
like
no
you just
idea
tap, and I'm like, is this
what
all
the
there
hell
is? Like, and the thing is, when you're chopping the tree, you're not actually chopping it down. Like the tree stays there the whole time. You just keep hitting it with your axe. So I'm just like, what is going on? Am I playing this right? What's happening? But there's actually a lot more to it than just cutting down the tree. Yeah.
It's cool. And I mean, I don't know if this is something that has other people know about really yet, or if it's like a big thing. But this to me, I just saw this game and was like, this has potential to be like a Flappy Bird type.
Yeah,
It's simple, but it's addictive. And also, if you go look at it on the Google Play Store, the promotional video that comes with it has one of these videos of like a guy playing the game. You know how that's like a genre in itself, is videos
Right.
of people playing games. But the guy playing it actually is pretty entertaining while he's playing the game, and that really convinced me to download it and try it myself. But it's cool. I think it's fun. I mean, if you got to kill 20 minutes and you don't know what else to do, you can tap your smartphone display endlessly as fast as you can.
Yeah, I might have to do a video for it on Fandroid because it is kind of a weird game,
So-
but really fun.
So Cookie Clicker is it's a Java game apparently. So that's what I guess they're referring to, and I guess they kind of made it into its own genre now apparently, where it's just you do nothing, no thinking, you just click.
Oh, I remember Cookie Clicker. I feel like Joe even told me about Cookie. This seems like a Joe
I'm
thing.
literally playing it
Really?
right now, and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just cooking.
All you do is you click this cookie, and you see how many cookies you can click per second. Yeah, Cookie Clicker. That's right. And then you can buy upgrades. Yeah, that's right. I've played this before.
And you can buy upgrades. So this is
I-
basically it builds upon that idea where
Yeah,
there's
there's
no
more
thinking
to it than
involved.
that.
Yeah.
There's just-
Basically, you're clicking the tree to cut down wood, and then the wood is like the currency. You use the wood to buy more orcs so that you can move the wood faster. And then you can also use the wood to buy a better axe, which gives you more points per
More
click.
wood.
And then eventually you'll build a fortress. Eventually you'll build a warrior. Eventually the warrior will be able to go on a quest, and that's where the game gets a little bit more complicated.
A little more interesting,
Yeah.
but even then, you don't control your little warrior. He just goes out.
Right.
and watch
You
him.
just watch him, which was confusing at first too, because
It's just
once
so-
again I'm like, how do I play?
I kept tapping for the warrior. I guess that didn't do anything. Like
I know. That's what I thought too. I was like, oh, it just keeps
Well,
tapping.
that's the thing. There's no, and it almost kind of adds to the charm of the game. There's no directions, tutorial, instructions, nothing. So you're clicking things, thinking like, do I click this? I mean, I didn't even know you could click the wizard until I was, way into the game, and then I'm like, I click the wizard. Oh, I can send my little hero guy on a quest, and it's
Guys, this is the PewDiePie moment for Flappy Bird right here. You know, he
Yeah.
did that video for Flappy Bird and it blew up. We're doing this video about orcs or whatever it's called, and it's just gonna blow up.
I mean, I would be happy to be a part of that because I'm 100% behind orcs.
Yeah. All right, so my app pick of the week is not nearly as exciting. Something I've been using for a while now, and I don't think I've mentioned it, but it's called Clip It. And so basically, you open this app, and it shows a bunch of TV channels, and you can make clips from TV shows that are airing live. So you go into the channel, say you're watching a game on ESPN and something awesome happened, and you want to make a quick clip of it to share on Twitter. Click on ESPN, and you can like scroll through the last, I don't know, however many minutes of footage, and like clip it together into a short clip and share it. I've been using it a lot lately, just not even just for sports. It's just like, you see a funny moment in a movie or something like that you want to share, and it's so much easier than, like, I don't even know how else you would do it. Do a Vine, like holding up your phone to your TV or something like that. I don't know, but you can just like so quickly share something that you just saw on TV. It's pretty nice.
That's cool.
It's called Clip It. It's for iOS and Android.
Yeah. I saw that a long time ago, not a long time ago, a few weeks back, and I still have it downloaded, and I was like, oh, this is going to be great, but I couldn't figure out.
I wonder if is there like a legality issue with that?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking they were going to get shut down like any day now because
I don't know how it works. Like, the thing is, you can't just like use the app to watch live TV if you wanted to. I mean,
yeah,
because it only shows sections of the show 30 seconds at a time. So if you wanted to like actually watch a show like that, it would be really difficult and almost impossible to do. But I have no idea how they're getting this footage so quickly. That would be interesting to figure out how they're doing it. But it's cool.
yeah.
What's your app pick, Christopher?
Mine is going to be, I kind of have two. One of them I just discovered. I don't know how the hell I ran into it today, but it's called Power Button Flashlight. Let me figure out the exact name. Power Button Flashlight. Yeah, 3 words. And what the way it works is you download the app, and then it configures your power button so that you can just press it 3 times. So even when your phone is sleeping, at any point, push the power button 3 times, and it activates the flashlight.
Nice.
Or the LED flash, and it lights up a room. So you don't have to open your phone, fumble around, look for your flashlight app, tap it, click the little button to turn it on. None of that stuff. It's just...
Now, if you were to do that on the phone that you're currently using right now, what phone would that be?
I have it on my Droid Max.
Okay, all right, we got a week. We're still a week.
Jeez, come on.
We did get a couple. We did get a couple guesses though. I don't know if you saw that, Chris.
I did. Okay, so here it is, completely off. My phone, well, not off, but it's sleeping, and then I click it 3 times. 1, 2, 3.
Wow, that's pretty cool, actually.
And then to turn it off, you would have to just open up the app.
Now, does it work on phones that were made after 2013, or just that one you're using?
You know what? So it's kind of pointless, actually, when you go into like Lollipops. I think Lollipop has a shortcut for the flashlight, so it's not as yeah.
So that's why you
really
found it, because you were like, I missed this Lollipop, and I don't have it on this old ass
The
phone.
Droid Max is scheduled to get Lollipop. Okay?
Oh yeah, sure.
They promised.
You'll
Motorola promised
totally still be using it by the time it gets Lollipop.
a year and a half ago. They promised it's getting Lollipop. So
Oh gosh, that's great.
super handy. And then I have another app pick because this one was just too good to not mention. It's called Gallery Doctor, and it's made by the guys at Flavor Flav. These are the guys that do My Roll, which is like one of my favorite gallery apps on the Google Play Store. So they released, I guess it's like a companion app almost, but it's called Gallery Doctor, and it kind of treats your gallery as almost like Tinder, the way it works. So every now and again you'll get a notification saying, hey, you got some photos that look like duplicates, or you have a photo that's blurry or something. And you can scroll through your gallery using Gallery Doctor and just swipe left to delete, swipe right to keep it if it's a photo that you want to keep. So it's so awesome. It's such a super useful, handy app, and it's such a great way of just being able to go through your gallery and deciding what photos you want to delete and what you don't. And I mean, there's no thinking about it. It does all the thinking for you. It brings you this list of photos that look like they're very similar, photos that
It actually
are
does a
blurry.
pretty good job of identifying photos that are bad too.
Yeah. Oh, this is a bad photo if like you cut someone's face halfway out or something. So it's pretty awesome, and it's actually helped me keep on top of my gallery because usually I'm taking pictures on accident. I'm doing test photos of this and that, and before I know it, they're getting backed up to the cloud, which I have scheduled every now and again. So this is awesome because it just you can go through your gallery and delete all these old photos. So
If you use iOS, it's a lot like an app that we talked about a while ago on the show called Flick. It's kind of the same type of deal, but I don't think Flick actually identifies photos that it thinks you should delete. I think it just lets you go through your entire gallery and you do the swiping.
oh, okay, that's
But
actually
yeah,
interesting.
it's really cool.
Flick. How do you spell Flick?
FLIC is the iOS
Okay.
app.
I'll give that one a try too.
All right, I think that's going to wrap up the show for this week. If you want to get in touch with us, you can use our email address podcast@mobileroar. You can also send us tweets with the hashtag mobileroar or just tweet directly at us. We have a Twitter account now. It's @mobileroarcast, all one word. You can subscribe to the audio version of the podcast in Stitcher Radio, in the iTunes Store, Windows Phone, everywhere else. Leave us a review where you listen to us. You can follow us individually on Twitter. Chris is at GamerCore, Kevin is at You Don't Know Kev, and I am at Tall Schmo. And we will see you guys next week, same time, same place. Later.
Bye.